So welcome back. In the previous video, we discussed about this simple if. So in this video, we'll talk a little bit, dive deep into the deeper details about simple if. We talked about its syntax rules and the condition. When I say condition, this condition and the body. Right now, it has only one line. We'll talk about that. Data type for comparison, especially when you're comparing here, you got to be careful with the data types, right? We'll talk about that. And we also talk about something called or using or in an if condition, right? So one thing is syntax rule for an if condition. As you see, it starts with an if, and the condition has to be within the parenthesis and always end with a colon. And you don't have that restriction in other programming languages, but in Python, ending this with the colon, right? Like a C++ and Java, you don't have that restriction. But in Python, that is the syntax rules. And then I have a body here. And I'm going to add, just for adding a flavor, I'm going to display some message, adding $2 to your total cost for water. Okay, that's just a message that I want to display. Now, as you see, why did I do that? I just want to demonstrate that now your if condition has 2 lines of code as a body of the instructions. And I'm just displaying that to the user, right? You can have as many lines as you want. You can have 2 lines as a body of the instruction. You have 100 lines, you have 10,000 lines as a body of the instruction, depending on the particular scenario that you were trying to solve. And next thing is the condition. This is the condition, right? And the condition in programming language, anytime you have a condition, you're checking for a condition, the result of the condition is either true or false. So in this case, you are comparing the contents of this memory cell with this value or this string. The result is either true or false. If it is true, if the result is true, the computer goes into these 2 lines. If the result is false, the computer is going to skip these 2 lines. That's what is this condition. This condition is also called Boolean expression. This condition is also called Boolean expression. Now, one thing I want to quickly run here, and I'll show you something. Now, let's suppose enter the burger cost $9. Do you want to purchase the water bottle? Now, what it is expecting here is S with a lower uppercase Y and lowercase e, right? What if I type this, YES? I'm typing something different from what it is comparing, right? So now, do you think this is going to match? This S will match that? Obviously no, right? Because this is it's case sensitive here, right? It's S with the Y capital, and here we got all capital. Now, if I see here, now watch if it is going to be true or false. See, it skipped it because this S is not same as this S. So it skipped that, and now your total cost is still 9. So let's run it one more time. That's $8, and this time I'm going to type S. Now, does that S match with this? Yes, yes. So since it matches, now you see here, it goes inside the body of the if condition. Okay. So now, what if I want to allow the user either to type this yes or the other S, right? Lowercase s, right? So here now the computer will go to the body of the if condition if the user types one of these. If any one of these, either it matches with this or that with that, right? If one of these conditions is true, then it will go into the body of the if condition. Now, as you see, I'm going to run through this, $8. Now I'm going to type lowercase s, lowercase s. Does this match with this? Obviously no. Does this match with this? No. Will it match with this third condition here? Yes, right? So now, if one of these match, then the whole thing becomes true. Let's run it. $8. Now you say yes. Now see what happens. What do you think? Is it matching with this? No. Is it matching with this? No. Does it match with this? Yes, right? So that means it should go into the body of the if condition. Now it's the computer in the body of the if condition, right? So on and so forth, right? So that's one of the advantage of having OR condition. This whole thing is called, how many conditions do I have here? 1, 2, 3, right? So when you have multiple conditions with OR in between, when one of the condition is true, then the whole thing true, right? When one of the condition is true, when you have OR here, how many conditions do I have? 3 conditions. What do I have in between? OR. So when one of them is true, then the whole result becomes true. And there's something called AND that we will learn in the future videos, right? So I just wanted to give you a little glimpse into these Boolean expressions here. There's a Boolean algebra, which is a complex subject by itself, but I just wanted to give you a brief introduction into Boolean expression. And the last thing that I want to talk about is data type for comparison. So here, if this is a text variable or a string variable, you can only compare a string constant with the string variable. So in the earlier videos, we talked about what is a string constant, string variable. So just remember that you can only compare the string variable. This is a string variable, and that is a string constant. And the string constant must be within the double quotes here. All of this is a string constant. And you cannot compare, for example, let's say, so now if I try to compare burger cost with S, let's see here what happens. Let me put a breakpoint. 9. It doesn't match. So just be careful here. Burger cost is 9, then you cannot compare that to a string, right? So always make sure that you compare a text variable with a string constant. And if you have a numeric variable, right, something like this, if burger cost is over $20, if you want to display a message, here, what are you doing? You're comparing an integer variable, because I have converted that into an integer right over here, with an integer value. And what am I using here? With a symbol greater than. So we'll talk about that in detail in the next video. So here, let's put over here, let's try running it. Enter the burger cost, let's say $25, say yes. Now you see here, it's comparing burger cost, which has the value 25 greater than 20, then it's going to display the message that this is a expensive burger. So again, it's your job to make sure that when you have an if condition, compare string variable with a string constant, compare numeric variable or integer variable, or whatever the numeric variable with a numeric constant. So we'll talk in detail about more examples about using simple if conditions in the future videos. Thank you.